watched the entire day. The offense is built to give them the ball on time. Talked about it all week long. I told them the dangers that are lurking. 10 of them thought they knew better. It's that simple. They're going to get their ass chewed tonight. They're going to see the film. It's not acceptable. They're too good for that. If they weren't very good, it'd be fine. They're too good.
Who were some of the guys that threw great on air, but you were maybe surprised didn't do as well?
Deshaun Watson was awesome until today. Keller probably should have been higher on the list than he was, but we didn't. The first one doesn't matter that much. But he was very inconsistent. Manny had highs and lows. All of his lows were the same reason why, jacking the ball around. I'd put Cornwell in the good.
Okay.
I forgot about him. DC was good.
What did you see from Gerard Hurd?
Gerard was good. He played early, so my mind. His first half was good. His second half wasn't great. His first half, he was decisive. He got the ball in the back. These defenses can't cover the back or the tight end. Just they can't. I told the coaches, I told the players. Gerard listened, got the ball in the back, the tight end early. Had success, and then they start, resorting back to their schoolyard, high school way of playing. And it gets ugly against good people. You can get away with it versus bad people. You can't get away with it versus good people.
So. When you first saw him until now, how much improvement have you seen?
Right years. They all have the tools. And I don't want to make this about me or anything. They get the best training offered in the world at this position. And if they take it, it's not hard to change guys. That's what I've been telling everybody for 3 years. This is not hard. I do it with 12-year-olds. I do it with 15-year-olds. I do it with 20-year-olds. I see my coaches do it. The hard part is doing it all the time, believing that you're better. And I was just very disappointed that they just didn't trust it. That they just didn't trust it, because when they trusted it, it went well. Sean White trusted it, gashed him. David Blau trusted it, gashed him. Luka Benzer trusted it, gashed him. Luka Benzer's day started with a drop touchdown, a drop 3rd and 2, and a drop 3rd and 2. Didn't flinch. Kept doing the same exact thing. Comes in the second half, and throws a couple tuds. So, it's not rocket science. I hope they figure it out. It took me too long to figure it out, but I don't want them to make the same mistakes I made.
Is there a guy that's maybe in the pole position right now, where if he has a good day tomorrow, he could win it?
I want to wait on that because I want to evaluate the film. It's never as bad as you think it is. It's never as good as you think it is. So, but I don't see White, Blau, Allen changing much. I didn't see all of Kyle's stuff. Just the way TV was working, I was mic'd with 3 different mics. I did 3 TV shows and coached today. So I had 2 documentaries and a live show going on. One in my ear, and was doing with all the coaching. So I did miss some of Kyle's, but every time I saw something, I saw him throw one up for grabs. But besides that, everything looked pretty clean.
What were some of the common mistakes that you saw over and over?
Holding the ball too long, not getting your eyes started in the right place, seeing ghosts.
Who's some of the quarterbacks that maybe had the best relationships with their wideouts?
That I was very pleased with everybody. They're very engaged with their wideouts. They handled everything from an engagement standpoint very well. I thought they competed well. I thought there was a lot of, they didn't all perform well, but I thought they did a lot of the other stuff consistent. I don't know if one guy, Blau probably is the most dynamic with his guys. But doesn't mean he's the best. I don't know. There might be a guy that's not as dynamic that does it just as effectively. But yeah, that's a hard one. It's pretty.
Was there anybody that has a lot of talent that maybe needs to work on that quarterback-receiver relationship?
No. The receivers are really good. They're not very disciplined. Their routes. Listen to Craig up in the booth in my ear, and And I get it. This is not a criticism to anybody, but it's very easy to get impressed with height, weight, speed, great catch. That's not receiver play. Receiver play is timing, depth, crispness of routes, then all that stuff. We would score every single drive if the depth of the routes was right, if the timing was right, and if the quarterbacks just did it the way we did it. These defenses cannot stop these plays if they're done right. And the coordinators know it. That's why they don't want me talking to the coordinators, because they know that I know. So, and I didn't. I let the coordinators figure it on their own. So, I guess I'm just frustrated that it's not cleaner. I was frustrated that with what we've put into this, that it wasn't cleaner on the quarterback's end. Some of that is the environment and the receivers not being completely disciplined yet.
Is there a guy that impressed you the other way, as far as someone that maybe wasn't wowing you on air, and then all of a sudden throw a defense in and kind of surprise you?
Cornwell had the biggest turnaround.
Yeah.
He was at the bottom of the. I mean, he was near the bottom of the list because he had such a terrible day yesterday, and it's just been wildly inconsistent. It's not a question of his talent or his character. I really like the kid, but to be fair to the process, he just wasn't very good. I think he'd probably be the first to tell you. He'll have a chance to be in the 11 after the day, I would think. No chance.
Trent, who was in? Could you repeat for those of us who just came in? Who was in the group that impressed you?
White, Blau, Rebenzer, Kyle Allen, Park, Cornwell, and Gerard. Gerard, the first half. The second half wasn't very good.
What'd you see out of Kaya?
Bradley was really good the first half. Okay, maybe I can put it, but then he wasn't very good the second time. He was awesome the first half. I watched that whole game, and he was really good. So maybe you could put him there. Once again, I'm going to see the film, and the list will reflect my true thoughts, but these are my initial thoughts.
How's Kaiser look since you saw him in Columbus?
He's gotten better. He's still pretty inconsistent. What bothered me today was he lacked some discipline. I told him, I said, I don't mind if you're a little inconsistent with the ball, just be disciplined. And he wasn't as much. But, the coaching staff didn't have the greatest day either overall.
What do you mean by discipline? Mentally, physically, mechanics? What?
Just being disciplined, doing it the way he's told to do it. I don't know. Do you know a different definition of discipline?
No, I was just wondering if you meant mechanically or mentally.
I just mean discipline.
Favorite throw?
Look,
Do you remember
Throw of
one?
the day was probably Kaya. Kaya on what we call a bullet route to the back, the big physical, broad-shouldered back on Apocalypse. Big Joe.
Mixon.
That was probably my favorite play. Oh no, that was Park. And then that one was Park, and then Kaya on a fade route to Buddha. Those are the two that stood out.
Looking back on it, if you could do it again, would you try to scale back how much you try to implement? Do you think there was too much to handle?
I actually would have put more plays in. I don't think my coordinators did a very good job of carrying enough plays. They didn't trust the players' ability to learn. I did this with junior college receivers last year in LA and ran 200 plays, called every single one of them over and over and over again. It's how you call plays. It's how you set them up. It's knowing your quarterback. It's knowing your personnel. Not calling 1st and 10 plays on 4th and goal from the 2. On 3rd and 8, not calling plays at the deepest routes of 6 yards.
When you make the list tonight, I'm sure some of your coordinators did a lot better than others. How much are you going to have to take and say, okay?
I know the question. I'm going to wait it. I'm going to give a kid a pass in some situations when he did what the play asked him to do, but it was a terrible play, and they went 3-0.
So when you have given us your top players right now, what is the main thing you're looking at? Are you talking about making the right throws or making?
If I'm going to give you a term, it's going to be clean. I want to play clean, right? I want the drop marries the route. Every play, the starting point for your eyes is defined. I don't ask these guys to recover coverages very much. This is a progression-based offense. They need to understand a basic shell, but they don't need to understand half quarter, whether it's true cover 2, whether it's Tampa 2 or 2 lock. I mean, it's not nearly as hard as you guys think. You know what I mean? And that's why certain guys who just say, yeah, this isn't that hard, they thrive. Jacob Park said to me after a couple tries, this is easy, coach. I said, I told you it'd be easy. You know, so it's not hard. It's not, it's hard if they make it hard. There's a receiver open every play. And that's not with even, and that's with kind of some crappy routes being run.
Seemed like Cornwell, when I watched him, was throwing a lot of, like dumping down the Fournette, the running back, and I mean, so that's something you kind of wish more of those guys would do. Sounds like.
Yeah, you do too. The defense gives you, and that's where some of them suffer from some play calling. You know, the coaches did a good job running out of a man. You know, all these coordinators came out like we thought they would with this bravado. We're going to play man because we have Tony Brown and we have this and we have that. And we'll run people out of man before they know it hit them, right? That's what Apocalypse did. I gave, you know, Taft called some really good man beaters, and you let Tony Brown. I'm just using Tony as an example. You use you eat up the best player, getting another guy open. That's offensive football. That's tactics. And they did that. Then they got him into zones, and they kept calling man runs. And these quarterbacks aren't advanced enough now to know how to adjust to that. So that was disappointing as well.
Was there anyone in particular who overcame poor coordinating? Any quarterback?
I have to watch all the film. And I'm not going to single out a coach, you know, in general. I wasn't thrilled to death, except for Charlie Frack. Charlie did an incredible job. They get railroaded 43-6. Had some real bad drops that would have made that a different game early. And I went up to him after, and he goes, I ain't changing a thing. So I'm sticking with the plan. These guys are good. They know their stuff. We'll be fine. They go 2-0 after that. So I thought he did a heck of a job, and all his quarterbacks came up to me and told me what a great job he did just communicating with them and encouraging them and giving them a good plan.
What will the rotation be tomorrow for the quarterback?
Every quarterback will play a half.
So same as
So tactically, no, we'll play a half. So at least a half, sorry, that's what I should say. So theoretically, a team that only plays 2 games tomorrow, because they lose, a quarterback could end up only playing 3 halves this entire competition. 2 today, play 1 tomorrow. Coach decides to not play him the 4th, the open quarter, and they lose both games. That's the worst scenario.
what about if they keep winning, play the hot hand?
Yeah, play whoever you want. At any time, series by series, in the middle of, I mean, I don't care. I wouldn't do it. That's for the coordinators to. If I was calling the plays, I would give the guys equal time. If I was doing it. But I'm not calling the plays, so I don't want to do that to the coordinators.
Do you think there's an element of, you know, with this thing being on ESPN and, you know, working with all these great receivers and athletes, you talk
Great
about
athletes. I do want to make sure we understand that. They're not, collectively, they're not great receivers. They're not disciplined enough to be called great receivers. Yeah, they're very good athletes, and they're great kids. Oh my gosh, I was blown away. On offense, I didn't deal with the defense. I mean, actually, I did deal with the defensive guys quite a bit. I was blown away by the quality of kid overall.
you talk about being disappointed in not checking down, not taking the open throw in time and holding the ball too long. Do you think there's an element of this being on TV and wanting to make the big splash play with all these guys that are much better really than they've ever played with?
Yeah, probably. It's fair.
I know you're focused on the quarterbacks, but were there any other skill guys that caught your eye that you kind of?
I love the Notre Dame kid, Justin.
Yeah, Brent.
Brent, he's a good receiver. He understands depth. He understands timing. He's going to be a heck of a player. I don't know how. He doesn't look like one of the burners, but he looks like what I call an enough guy. He has enough of that stuff.
Yeah.
I love Speedy. Speedy, and he's smart, and he gets it. He's a quarterback, so he gets it. I love the big tight end. I love whose tight ends are they? Taft's tight ends. Is it Apocalypse's tight ends?
Is that Jeb?
Talk with, Blazovic.
Yeah, Jeb.
Yeah.
Love Jeb. Love the shorter, really fast South Carolina tight end.
Crosby.
Crosby. I really like the 2015 George Campbell.
Yeah.
He got tweaked a little bit. He's a real coachable kid. He had a couple of drops. You can tell catching the ball isn't supernatural to him, but he'll figure it out. Very coachable. I like Quick. I like his energy. Apocalypse is loaded.
Yeah.
I mean, they're loaded. The quarterback too. I mean, I don't know how they'll have to lose it. They won't get beat. They'll have to lose. I don't want to cheat anybody. The kid that caught the ball down the right side in the television game, real tall kid, really tall kid. Ball was kind of behind him a little bit. What's his name?
Malone?
Huh?
Was it Josh Malone?
Josh Malone.
What?
Was it Josh?
Josh Malone?
Yeah, Josh Malone. I like Josh Malone. They just have to understand the time. Yeah, it's probably that coach's responsibility to stress a little bit more when they're calling the play.
I heard you say defensive players are just X's to you, but are any X's jump out?
Inside, they're just X's. Outside, it's a different story. Tony Brown can literally, he can just ruin you out there. And a couple of the guys can. Inside, zone defense is so easy to complete the ball against. I'm not saying score touchdowns against, complete the ball against. Everybody talked about the length of the linebackers and the closing speed and all that stuff. There was gaping holes in there at times. So you just have to throw the ball in those holes.
Who is one of the most decisive quarterbacks that you watched today?
Cornwall is very decisive, almost to a fault sometimes. I'd go Jacob Park. He's super decisive. He's a gifted guy. I've had breakfast with him twice. I've gotten to know him really well. He may be misunderstood. He's extremely intelligent. I don't know what his grades are. I don't know what stuff. I can tell you he's an extremely intelligent kid. And he's an intuitive kid too, so he's impressive.
How coachable has Kaiser been and worked with him?
Very coachable. He's a great kid. I told him he had to be there. I can't hang out with my daughter, who's a 14, come in there too. So, no, he's very coachable. He's gonna be fine. Baseball, it's tough. I mean, he's at somewhat of a disadvantage because he's got some stuff that's just going to take a little while to clean up. But once it does, he's going to be fine. I really like the kid. I love his ceiling. I think he's going to be a tremendous player. Give him some time.
We've seen a Will career.
Will would have been in the list if it wasn't for the second game. I want to see that team probably had the worst. Hardy ripped into them afterwards. That team probably had the worst mojo after the first game. After the first game, I thought they were going to be one of the top 3 teams. They're organized. Jordan's done a great job. Structure. It's not ready to play off a card. You know what I mean? It's very structured. It's a good environment to be successful. And they just kind of lost energy, just flatlined. And so I want to see if that contributed to Will's struggles in the second game.